Well, a very good afternoon, everyone, to another edition of the Uckfield Business Podcast with me, Ian Noble, Chamber Director for the Uckfield Chamber, your host, together with my colleague Claire Allen from Team 4 Solutions. I'm hoping Claire's going to join me on screen very shortly. Here she comes. Hello,
Here
Claire.
I am, as if by magic. Hello. Hi, Ian. Nice to see everyone again. I can't believe it feels like 5 minutes ago we were doing this, and it was December, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, it was actually November. We didn't do a show in December.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So no, it just feels like 5 minutes ago we were doing this, and it's probably too late to be saying Happy New Year to people as well, isn't it now?
Oh, go on.
Almost into February. Happy New Year, Uckfield.
Happy New Year, yeah. Somebody wished me Happy New Year last night, and they said, I'm going to carry on wishing everyone a Happy New Year to the end of January. I said, okay, fine. That's all good. That's all good. Well, look, Claire, we've got a great show today, haven't we? We've got a great guest lined up.
Yeah, fantastic guest. Somebody I've met and I know and been to his classes. Yeah, very excited to be speaking to Johnny. So, yeah.
Good. Yeah, we have the wonderful Dr. Johnny Phoenix on very shortly, and we'll introduce you to him in a little while. But before we do that, as customary on this show, is we talk about the latest Uckfield business news. Now, the big thing I think that's happening or happened last weekend was the opening of yet another big multinational store on the Ashdown Business Park in Maresfield. So, Claire, were you up with this? Do you know who we're talking about?
I do know who you're talking about. I didn't attend the grand opening, neither did I attend the grand opening of the previous one. But the Ashdown, this is Ashdown Business Park, isn't it? It's becoming quite a success now. It's becoming quite a hub, isn't it? Lots of activity over there. So it's Home Bargains, I believe, that's opened. And I'm sure most of Uckfield have been and visited already by now. I'm probably the last one that hasn't.
Well, I haven't been either, but Home Bargains, you're right. And apparently there was queues around the bypass for people to get in on Saturday morning. It was quite something. So
Wow.
good for them. And I just want to give them a shout out, because on their opening, they donated £2,000 to Uckfield Food Bank, which was absolutely brilliant and very generous of them. And they invited Lorraine Kirkwood, who's the project manager at the food bank, someone who I know very well, to open their store. So she had the honour of doing that and received a cheque for £2,000. So that was a lovely piece of news, I thought.
Well, it's fantastic that the local community are supporting. I know these are national companies coming in, but it's great that Uckfield community is supporting them, because, that presumably will encourage other businesses to come to this area. So the more they get used, the better it's going to be for everyone, I guess.
Exactly, Claire. Yeah, totally. And of course, it wouldn't be an Uckfield Business podcast without mentioning a certain store that we hope is going to open very soon in Ridgewood. It's been the longest build-up ever, I think. But we think the Co-op are going to open next month now. Is that what you've heard as well?
Well, yes, and I understand that staff are being sought as we speak, so they're hiring at the moment. So that's a good indication that it should be opening shortly. We still don't have a date that I'm aware of, but like you say, it won't be long now.
Yeah, that's right. And the car park is sort of cordoned off at the moment. So for the building works to the refurb and making sure that it's all ready, fitted out, presumably, as the store. So yeah, that will happen very, very soon. I know there's a lot of opposition to that store, but actually I think it looks quite nice. I like the way they've built it in the same style as the pub. And certainly the car park is a massive improvement on what was there previously. And just before we get Johnny on, I just want to talk about another business that's moved into Uckfield from the Burgess Hill area, and that's a new chamber member called Growth by Design and UK Growth Coach. So it's two businesses, both chamber members, and they've moved to Horsted Square. And we've seen a number of new businesses moving into the town. Certainly the High Street, there've been quite a turnover in new shops and new stores. Ashdown Flooring, Sorella Beauty Salon, to name just a couple that have moved in relatively recently. And we've got 10 new chamber members in the last quarter of last year. So that's some going, I think, Claire, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it just means business is thriving and buzzing in Uckfield, doesn't it? Surely.
Yeah, and five of those business owners were at our chamber meeting last night as well. I know
Excellent.
You couldn't make it, and I know one or two others couldn't make it, but we did have 60 people in the room at Buxley Park Hotel. So it was
that really is encouraging, actually, because since the COVID sort of dip, if you like, it's taken a while, hasn't it, to really recover. Certainly the sort of meetings, people coming out in public again. So I think that's a really good indication that people are feeling more confident to come out, and businesses thriving really, and people wanting to do business again and get involved in the business community locally. So that's really encouraging. Yeah, and we have some great events, of course, coming up, don't we, this year as well, which I'm sure you'll be telling us all about later, Ian. But
indeed, we will indeed. Yeah. And pre-show, we sort of rehearsed this a little bit, and I'll cover future chamber events at the end of the show. But one thing I will mention right now, lest I forget, is that we are about to launch, or we have launched, the Uckfield Business Awards for 2024. So we're very excited about that. And the entries for that will open on the 9th of April. So plenty of opportunity for us to remind you of when the entries open. And the actual event, the awards event, is on the 26th of September 2024. And we are still looking for a couple more sponsors. So if your business is interested in sponsoring a category at the awards, please do get in touch with me. So Claire, without further ado, should we get Johnny on?
Yes, let's everybody meet Johnny. Yeah.
Okay, so here he is, the Dr. Johnny Phoenix. How are you, Johnny?
Oh, I'm marvelous. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for inviting me today. It is an honor and a privilege. I'm excited, very excited, and a happy and a healthy 2024 to everyone. We always have the healthy bit at the end, because without health, there's no happiness, really.
Good sentiment.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff. Now, who's that standing behind you? Tell us about your friend.
Yes, my lovely friend that's always by my side. He's in my treatment room. His name is Jones. I was saying earlier that actually I used to call him my grandfather, but it used to scare the children. So I've stopped saying it's my grandfather, and he's called Jones.
Very good. Well, he's very welcome as well. Thank you so much for joining us. You've been here in Uckfield now for, we established, 16 months. Which it feels a lot longer than that. Don't take that the wrong way, but you've really established yourself on the Uckfield business scene. So we're really delighted to have you on board here with us this afternoon. So 16 months, is that correct? You've been going that long in Uckfield?
September 2022, our brilliant mayor, Jackie Love, cut the ribbon and opened up the Phoenix Health Hub. And we took over the space, what was the Uckfield Yoga Studio, the end of July. So we literally transformed the space in 40 days and 40 nights of hard grafting to create this health and well-being hub on the high street. And that's what I absolutely love to bring to Uckfield. So it's all about health and well-being on the high street. So yeah, 16 months we've been here. So it's all going really well. We love it here. It's so nice to give back to the community.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, we'll come to that a little bit later on. 40 days and 40 nights is almost something biblical there about what you just said. But
yes, and I don't mean to cause offence or say the wrong thing, but it happens to be that when Jackie Love cut the ribbon, it happens to be 40 days. And
excellent.
All the builders in the architects, like, you can't do it in 40 days. You're literally stripping everything back, installing an X-ray machine, putting up this, doing this. And I thought, I just want to get it done. So I think it goes back to that quote from Faithless: you don't need eyes to see, you need vision. And I am a visionary and an influencer that wants to bring about health and well-being to the high street. So I just put these unrealistic targets and I get the people on board and I just push and try to get the best out of people, really.
Good.
Well, clearly a doer, Johnny. And I've been to your studios, and it's a lovely space up there. You've got some lovely studios there, haven't you? And clinics as well. So it's a great space.
Yeah, we've actually, I didn't mention that so over Christmas and New Year, we actually took over the shop above what was Cheat Days to make a bigger studio, because it was back in November that we had our 3 chiropractors and massage therapists all working simultaneously, and we had 12 people waiting in the waiting room, and there were 6 seats, and it was a disaster, a good problem to have, but something that we needed to resolve. So we had to push the waiting room back into the studio. So I had the choice to close the studio altogether or try and find another space for it. And my builders that did all the work said, well, we can do it on the 27th of December and have it ready for you the beginning of January. So I thought, right, you can literally take everything outside, put a suspended floor, and create this amazing studio space with natural light. And it's absolutely amazing because it's a much bigger studio space now. So yeah, we're really happy with how that's going. So
Good.
Yeah.
So how's it all going,
Predicting
Johnny? Sorry, Claire, I'll come to you in a sec. How's it all going? You know, on a scale of 0 to 10, how pleased are you with what's happened so far?
If I sit here now, it's 9.5 out of 10. If I take a step back and breathe, it's well above expectation, well above what I'm expecting to see and do. And the feedback we've got from people that come to see us is so positive and warm and touches my cockles, so to speak. And it just, everything is so lovely to be part of Uckfield, and so lovely to have that feedback. And the staff that we've got love being here. They get on board with the ethos of what I'm trying to bring. And it's just a real positive, energetic experience working here. So I'm really touched. But I tell you what it stems from. This is the honest situation for this my bit in this podcast is, in 2018, we were moving out Forest Road and we were looking at where to move to. And we looked at Lewes, we looked at Eastbourne, we looked at a number of different towns. And someone suggested Uckfield. And I hadn't really ever considered Uckfield or even been to Uckfield. So we parked in Tesco's and we saw 5 different shops. We went to Tesco's, we went to Waitrose, we went to the cinema, we went to Carville's. And every place we went to was so kind, so friendly, and so smiley. And I thought, this is such an amazing place. And I genuinely thought, we want to move to Uckfield. This is the place we want to be. And on the high street, that hub of friendliness. They were so lovely to our kids, so nice to. So I just thought, this is the place we want to be. And it hasn't let me down. Every single month and year, we're here as a family, here as individuals, here as a business. I just feel like what I offer is what everyone else offers. And it's lovely to be part of that.
That's great. Claire?
Yeah, so that's lovely to hear, actually, that you feel so welcome to Uckfield, and I think that's right. People are very happy here, aren't they? It's a lovely community to be part of. So what's your background, Johnny? I mean, what were you doing before you set up the business here?
So yeah, I was born in London, and I've been a chiropractor for close to 20 years. And so I went back to London after I graduated and spent 5 years there, set up a London back office. And because I had so many clients in London that had the money, but not the time, even though we were open 8 till 8, they still couldn't get to an appointment. So I thought, well, let me bring, this is my sort of business mind. Let me bring chiropractic to the company. So I set up the London back office and brought chiropractic into Jardine Lloyd Thompson, which is a big insurance firm on Fenchurch Street, and set up this company and treated people in-house. And that grew and grew, and that was fantastic. And then my wife got pregnant. So we moved to East Grinstead and here, and in the process, before she got pregnant, I proposed to her, and because originally my name is Johnny Felton, and actually when I proposed to her, I was quite open to what the surname means, and she'd been married before and kept her LaRue surname, so I was quite excited about maybe just taking her surname into being Johnny LaRue, because I thought that's better than Johnny Felton. But we came about, we thought, well, why don't we just make up a surname? So we had a bottle of champagne to celebrate our proposed state of mind, and we came up with a number of different names, and Phoenix was a really cool sounding name, and it was a name that we chose together. So continuing the conversation, my background, then I changed my name from Johnny Felton to Johnny Phoenix, and then she married into the Phoenix name. So then we became Mr. and Mrs. Phoenix. So that's the background to the Phoenix, because people often say, is Johnny Phoenix your real name? And I was like, well, yes, but it's a decision in my enlightenment, or because I want to change my surname. And if I was a female marrying a male in a typical state, I would just take his surname or double barrel it. And it just felt like, let's just make up our own surname and join together this union that we choose this surname together. So, and then we moved to Uckfield, and that's where the Phoenix Health Hub came from the ashes.
Yes, it's the name with meaning, isn't it? That's fantastic. Yes, I wish I'd had the foresight to actually change my name before I got married. I think that sounds like a really good thing to do.
It's never too late, Claire. It's never too late.
Let me have a word with Mr. Allen.
What would you change it to?
I don't know. I was considering that, actually. I was sitting there. I'm not sure yet. Let me think about that one.
It's something to do with bookkeeping. I'm not sure.
Oh no, that would be a bit dull, wouldn't it? I want something far more interesting than that.
There we go. So, Johnny, we've established how long you've been here, a little bit about your background. Tell us very briefly, succinctly, what services you offer then here in Uckfield to the Uckfield public?
I've taken on board that subliminal focus, Johnny. I will very succinctly depict what we offer. So as a chiropractor, I offer chiropractic. We have 3 chiropractors, and we also offer massage. We've got 3 massage therapists. So chiropractic, massage, we do yoga, we do Pilates. My daughter is officially or unofficially the youngest yoga teacher in the world. She started when she was 7. She's now 9. So she teaches yoga for kids, and I, with my son, teach football fitness club as well. We've got Tai Chi, we've got Qigong. We also have Mamas and Baby singing group, which is starting next Friday. There's going to be 10 to 20 women singing their hearts out over the high streets with a magnificent view. And we've also, another one. We've got this lovely lady, Sarah Walker, who's a SEN specialist, who's been helping me with my son and a number of clients and people that I've met over the years with special educational need parents. And she's going to come and do a monthly workshop on Wednesday, the 7th of February, my birthday. And that Wednesday group will be once a month, and it's a free group because we're going to just let these charity and events rent out the space for free so they can offer their support to local mums, local individuals, because we want this to be a support center and hub of health and well-being, not just chiropractic and massage. So we are open to anything health and well-being related to offer them the space to offer their services to people in and around Uckfield.
Very good. And I think you get a sense of the space from this image we're looking at here. Obviously, if you're listening on a podcast afterwards, you don't get this. But if you are watching us on YouTube, then you can see the space here in these still images, which is quite something. They're really lovely, open, spacious studios. And this picture here with the sky, is that images of the sky?
We have skylights in all the rooms. So we put skylights, which is my little touch to bring in the lovely sunlight of the potential into all the rooms. A couple of the rooms have no natural light, and I've worked in rooms with no natural light, and it's so suppressing and it doesn't feel good. But having these skylights in these rooms brings about a real calm blue light, which I absolutely love and people love, and it's just another touch to make them feel welcome in our space.
Very good. And so that's the true blue sky you can see there. That's not an image. That's
no, it's an image. It's a skylight. So it's not a real. It's a skylight. So it's literally it's a LED light. It's a trick.
I see.
Light fitting, which basically I've got about 80 of them scattered throughout the studio and the treatment room.
I'm a bit slow on the uptake, and I've not seen that before, so it's really, really interesting. So, yeah, good stuff. So basically, a huge range of health services, massage, chiropractic work, but yoga and Pilates, and all kinds of other things as well.
And the X-ray machine, I forgot to mention, this is something which was a really important bit for me, because chiropractors are qualified to take and diagnose X-rays. They're one of only 3 professions in the entire world that can do this. The other 2, which is one of those pub quiz questions, are vets and dentists. So chiropractors can take and diagnose X-rays, which will then lead them to be able to find out, is it safe and appropriate to treat you? Do you have severe arthritis and therefore you need to actually be referred to your GP? Or in some cases, we've actually detected fractures that were otherwise not picked up for one reason or another. So it's such an amazing addition, and they're all digital, so they come out instantly. So we can help those people that need X-rays to diagnose what's going on. So that is what I was really passionate about as well, as accurate diagnosis.
Very good. I didn't know that, Claire. Did you? Vets and dentists and chiropractors?
No. I shall remember it next time I do a pub quiz. I get that question. Yeah, no.
This podcast is nothing but educational. Let me tell you that. So
enlightenment. Yeah,
absolutely. That's very good. Now, Johnny, we've already established that you've done so much already in the 16 months you've been here in Uckfield. But one of the things I've been hugely impressed by is the way you've got stuck into the Uckfield community. Can you tell us a little bit about how you have supported the Uckfield community?
Well, for me, it's the path of least resistance to give back more than you're getting given to you. And just rocking up to a shop, and it doesn't matter if it's a private establishment who wants your service or someone who's just on the till was Tesco's or they're so lovely, and I genuinely touched me in so many ways. So I just think, well, I want to give back. So when my son plays football and they need a sponsor for the football the kit, then I would love to be able to sponsor it and be able to put our Phoenix Health Hub on their kit. And then when they said, well, are you able to sponsor the actual the Sixes tournament? And I said, we'll do everything we can. And the price was quite high. But actually we said, well, listen, if we can come and do spine checks and check people and we can then give back what we get in, then actually they got more because we're able to offer our spine checks to people. So we've sponsored the Grasshoppers Sussex Sixes, and we've also sponsored the Girl Guides. And on our 1 year anniversary, it touched me that the food bank was donated £2,000 by the Home Bargains, because they didn't need to do that. But that goodwill gesture as a community, knowing that, is like, well, these guys are good. And I know it's PR, but why not do PR to give back to people that could otherwise be given that support? So on our 1 year anniversary, we gave £10 of every person that came through the door and paid for treatment, the donation to the food bank. So we donated £430, which, funnily enough, I said, do you want the money or can I give it to the kids to go shopping in Tesco's? And they love buying all the stuff like chocolate biscuits, sweets, Cocoa Pops, all the stuff which would otherwise not be donated because it's not proper food. But the food bank absolutely loved it because it's these treat things that would otherwise not be donated for them. So it's been lovely having those conversations with Lorraine and being able to support her and being able to do it publicly and be able to show our genuine interest in giving back to the community has just been very, very easy and fun to do. And things like, we'll go out for lunch or we'll go out for coffee and I'll just take a picture of where we are and tag that establishment in the space, and they will be grateful that I've said how lovely the service and fantastic coffee is. And it just then pushes other people, I hope, to go, well, let's go and support the Uckfield High Street. Let's go and support local businesses. Let's just, engage with what people have to offer. And we've had a lot of people come in and say, oh, I saw you on Facebook. I saw your place. So it gives back straight away. It's not like I'm doing it to try and get something. I'm doing it because I love it. And it just comes back straight at you. So we've sponsored the Highlands, the Fun Run, the Wheeled on the Field, school fairs, the Easter. We've been to so many places, and we're part of the community, which we love to be. So
very good, brilliant. And you're also sponsoring the Business Awards, which is brilliant. So thank you.
Very excited about that. Yes, the Wellbeing and Work Awards. So yeah, that's a real privilege and right up our street. So
excellent. And I couldn't think of anyone better to sponsor it. So thank you so much for doing that, Johnny. And we look forward to getting you involved with that a little bit later in the year. I'm glad you mentioned about the Facebook tagging, because we talked about this pre-show, and it's such a simple thing to do, but you're a great and shining example of that. And if more people could take that on board, you have a good experience somewhere, then put it on social media and shout about it. And maybe if it's not such a good experience, instead of moaning about it, just leave it and let it wash over.
It brings people down. If you've had a bad experience, you've got to remember that person that served you, that chef, that situation, just had a really bad day and don't need something else to chuck at them. Just don't go back or keep it to yourself, because positivity grows positivity. So I'm always about doing what I can to be positive and engaging in a positive way, and people then are drawn to that positivity. So and we can learn so much from that. So thank you so much indeed for that, Claire.
Yeah, I love your positive energy, and I just hope it rubs off on some other business owners locally, because you've really made your presence felt locally, that's for sure, in a really, really nice way, I have to say. It doesn't feel like you're trying to sell your services at all to anybody. So it's really, really great to see you around town and supporting all the other businesses. So one thing that occurred to me is I just wondered about your team, because you've obviously got a great team you're building around you, and it's nice to know you're a local employer, hopefully of some local people. So I wonder if you can tell us about how many people you employ and a little about your team.
Well, there's 23 of us so far in total. There's a lot of self-employed teachers that work as yoga teachers and Pilates teachers in a number of different places. So they're not employed per se, but we have a contractual arrangement where we do all we can to support their lessons and their engagements, and then we have this contract in place. But in terms of the employed people, there's 6 that work on the front desk. I've got Sinead, who's the super boss. I call her the boss because she is just 25 and a brilliant brain that is so focused at helping me deliver what I'm trying to achieve in and amongst Uckfield. So I call her the boss, and everyone else is working under her, because all she does is direct what we are trying to create together. I don't want to be the boss. I don't want to tell people what to do. I'm not someone that likes telling people what to do. I will then do it for them and give them the day off paid leave. So I'm the one who's the hard worker and creator, but everyone's coming together to follow this Phoenix Health Hub ethos. And yes, it's my name, but as we talked about earlier, it's not my name. It's just a made up name. So it's the concept that I'm offering. It's I might be the owner, but it's not what I'm trying to portray. It's a belief. So yes, we have 6 on the front desk. We have 3 chiropractors, Maria, Mike, and myself. It's interesting actually because Maria has been on board since September, and she's one of the most fantastic chiropractors I've ever met. But she does have autism, and I have ADHD, and we got on really well because how she is and how I am is almost poles apart. But I wanted to take a real leap of faith in her because I saw how brilliant she was and how great a chiropractor she was. And she has come on leaps and bounds, and we have grown together so much in our own neurodiverse way. So that's a real honor to help support people that may not have the same support in life. I've had a lot of support and help, which is another reason why I like to give back, because if I hadn't got that support and given the chance, etc., I wouldn't be where I am. So I owe a lot of my success to the people around me taking a chance with me. Then continuing that, we have 2 fantastic personal trainers, Luke and Frank, who's also doing nutrition. We have Qigong with Caroline. We have, as I mentioned, Sarah, who's doing the SEN workshops to support SEN parents. We have Maria, Annalise doing yoga. We have Yana doing Pilates. So many lovely people that just want to give their services to Uckfield and the surrounding area. And it's just a real honor to be able to create space for them to do what they do so brilliantly.
Oh, I love that. I love that you're building such a diverse team as well. It sounds fabulous. Really, really, really commend you for that as well. It's 23 people is quite a lot to manage as well, as I know.
Elaine does the management, and she's already said we need more front desk staff. So we've taken another person on, and we have another chiropractor starting hopefully with us in March. So it's growing so quickly, and it's what's so lovely to see is all I'm trying to do is create a space for people to be and be accepted and accept others. So they then kind of have confidence in themselves. They grow. They love being part of it. All I'm doing is creating a space for them to be brilliant. And then my idea is that all the sort of success and profits and all the rest of it can then be re-established into this space, into local community events and all this sort of stuff. So we give back as much as we get. So having that mindset, it's almost like a sort of CIC or non-profit organization, but I don't fully understand how they all work. So I don't know what I've done versus that, but it's just the ethos of giving back more than you give out. And that has helped me be the success that we have got. So, and doing like spine checks for all the local businesses, thanks to the Uckfield Chamber, we've met so many businesses that we can say, can we come and do weekly Wednesday wellbeing checks with your staff? And we've met so many people, and we've helped them find the help that they would otherwise not have got, which again is all about giving back without expectation.
I love the culture. You must have a lovely feel. And in fact, I'm looking to come and put an application in next week, I think. Can we wave from here? See if you've got any jobs going. It sounds great.
Very good. Very good. So great team, basically, Johnny. And, you're saying that it's the team behind you that's the success.
Yeah, I'm nothing without the team. And it's having that ability to work with people that can deal with, in my opinion, a creative, lovely chiropractor with ADHD, which complicates the navigation of my life, but has these big ideas that actually wants them to succeed as well as me. If they're not with a good job description, enjoying it, paid well to be part of it, then it's just one way. It doesn't work. It has to be, what do you want from your job? What are your skill sets? What can you offer? How can we support what you don't like doing or not very good at doing, so we can get people on board? So it's just a sort of exponential growth of ease, rather than, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, you don't. You need to be warmly embraced and accepted and grow together. So there's a lot of, we have these meetings where we start the meeting with a 1 minute whinge. So set the timer, and you got 1 minute to whinge about whatever's going on in your life, you know, and it could be life, it could be the weather, could be your car, could be your partner. You got 1 minute where you hear the person, you go around the circle, and you just have a little bit more compassion towards what's going on in their life. So that's something that we made up, just to kind of connect with each other.
Good. 1 minute whinge. There we are.
Like
There's a lesson there for lots of businesses. Johnny, you touched on the chamber already, which and I'm delighted you're involved as a member, and a very engaged member of that. But what does chamber membership mean to you?
Initially, quite a scary prospect of meeting people that I don't know, and my business is some made up concept. So why am I, a business person, being invited to this chamber? It's quite daunting, actually. But you and your lovely sidekick Gary, dare I call him a sidekick? That's a bit. And Claire and so many people have been so warm and welcoming, and it's who you meet, and being allowed. This is another Uckfield thing. You're allowed to be authentic. You're allowed to be yourself. You're given that support and nurturing to actually be who you are. And for me, the chamber has offered a lot of diversity in meetings and engagement, and the way it's choreographed. So you've got all these different platforms to talk about what you do and how you want to grow, and how there could be someone. There's been many businesses that we've engaged with off the back of this that we've utilized to help our business and also help them. So I get a lot out of the chamber, and it's a privilege to be part of it. And it's for me anyway, it's essential to know all the businesses in and around the area. So when you meet someone, you go, oh, I know where you are, I know where you are. And then actually you're part of the community. So that's what you do so brilliantly, and is you bring people together and let them talk and engage. So yeah, a privilege to be part of it.
That's very kind of you to say that, indeed, Johnny. Gary's commented, it's official.
I'm so sorry.
Brilliant. Okay, we're calling that from now on. That's good. That's good. Okay, Claire, I think you've got a final question for us.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, what advice would you give to anyone thinking of setting up a business in Uckfield? Is it a great place to do business? I think I know your answer.
It's a tricky one to answer, honestly. Yeah, well, you know, you've got to go into Uckfield, you've got to go and talk to business people and go, is this the kind of place I want to be? If you want a hard-faced, cold, difficult to engage with community, go to anywhere in London. You know, if you want somewhere that's all soft and fairy, you might look at some village in Cornwall or whatever. But for me, this is the exact mix of engagement, business growth and development, softness, and power people. It's you can be whatever you want to be in Uckfield, in my opinion, and you can engage with people and you can make a difference. And there's a lot of lovely people that want you to succeed. So absolutely, Uckfield High Street is the best place I could imagine being.
Well, I think you're an absolute inspiration, actually, Johnny, as a businessman, and also someone that reaches out to the community and sells the soft stuff too. It's not all about hard, cold profits and bottom lines, is it? It's how you engage with the rest of the community. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. I hope other people learn a lot of lessons from that today.
Well, if you look after the people, the pounds will look after themselves. So you've obviously, that's just my ethos, and it served me well.
Superb. Thank you, Johnny, so much. Thank you for joining us today. Is there anything finally you want to add? Anything we haven't asked you that you want to share with the viewers?
Not really. I think it's an encouragement to look after your number one asset, which is your health. And we have so much to offer to support people. And you come up and see us, come and have a walk around. It took me 2.5 years before I actually walked into the Uckfield yoga studio, because it's up the top of town and it's round the corner of those stairs. So come in and have a look around. We are one of the friendliest community-based businesses in Uckfield. We would love to show you around our space, and you're all very welcome. So yeah,
Very good. And we've touched on the fact that you're sponsoring the Wellness and Wellbeing Award at the Uckfield Business Awards, but we hope that you'll enter other awards for yourself, other categories, because it will be great to recognise the success that you've brought to the town, if that's appropriate. So all good.
Yes.
So Johnny.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. Stay with us just for the close of the show. And we've just got a few parish notices first, or finally, rather, I should say, before we finish. You touched on the fact that we have different platforms and different opportunities for people to meet. One of the legacies of the pandemic, I suppose, is that we've continued with virtual networking, and we do this at the Chamber of Commerce every month, and it always happens on the first Wednesday between 9 and 10 a.m. And everyone has an opportunity to speak for a minute about their business. So just update on what's happening in the business. You can see there the screens. We use the Zoom platform for this, and there's a chat facility so you can share your contact details. And we always have a 10-minute speaker. I think you've spoken before now, Claire, at these meetings, and any chamber member is welcome to apply to speak to us. On the 7th of February, we have a relatively new member, David from Bold Biz Coaching, could be talking about hybrid working and how that all is panning out in the workplace at the moment. People are still working from home a lot, in addition to going into the office, say 2 or 3 days a week. So we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of hybrid working in the office, which is very relevant for a lot of people. So that's on Wednesday, the 7th of February. If you're not a chamber member and you'd like to join us on that occasion, all you need to do is to drop me an email, and there's the email address there, secretary@upfieldchamber.co.uk, and we will email you the link to join us on the 7th of Feb. Moving on, we have an in-person networking breakfast next month as well. This is on Friday, the 23rd of February. This is going to be at the Luxford restaurant in the Civic Centre. And we already have, I think, 25 people booked in for this, which is a bit unprecedented for this far ahead, a whole month ahead. And we've got space for about another 10 to a dozen people. Excuse me. So it's a really good breakfast. I'm hungry looking at that cooked breakfast as we speak. If you're listening on Spotify, it doesn't really work, but there's a nice image there of a cooked breakfast. And so if you do want to book in for that and take one of the last few places, then you can go onto the Chamber website, click through to Eventbrite and book your place. So that's on Friday, 23rd of Feb. And then we have our AGM. Now, our AGM, this is only exclusively for our members. So you do need to be a chamber member to attend this. And it is free to attend. Not fee, it's free. I don't know, not quite sure what happened there. It's Thursday, the 21st of March. It's at the East Sussex National. And chamber members can go and book their places now, limited to 2 per business, because it's a free event. And we will feed you. It's one of the few free lunches you'll ever get from us, but it is the AGM. And Gary King, my sidekick, after 3 years as president, is standing down. So we will have a new chamber president to vote in at that meeting. And then we go again here on the 22nd of February. We're back here in 4 weeks' time when our guest is to be confirmed. But I have a good guest lined up and just need to iron out a few final details before we announce that, which we will do very, very shortly. And then I touched on the Uckfield Business Awards as well, which I won't go over again now today. So it just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining us. I think we had a few technical problems right at the top of the show. So if you missed the top of the show, really sorry about that. And this will appear, thankfully, to Gordon Manklow's highly tuned technical skills on our YouTube channel. So thank you to Gordon in the background, our producer. And this will appear on our YouTube channel, so anyone can catch up, watch it back in view it, or you can listen on Spotify and just get the audio version. So Claire, anything finally from you?
Nothing from me. No. I'm just going back to my tax return work in a moment. I've got another few days to roll a few more out. Yeah, it's January's my busy time. So yeah, I'm just immersed in tax.
It just hadn't occurred to me. Thank you for joining us in January, Claire. You know, I know you're super busy at the moment. So. No,
this is a welcome break. Believe me.
There we go, Johnny. Great to see you as always. We'll see you again in person very soon. So without further ado, from Claire and myself and Johnny, very good afternoon to you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Johnny. Bye.